raised his hand and calmly insisted the business should end, saying Miss Long lacked sincerity. A formation expert explained too that the sketch was only first level and said 100,000 would be enough. A confident woman with long dark hair said the design was hand-drawn and told them 100,000 would be enough. Glared and accused Miss Long of lying, his voice sharp and cold. Demanded the image of the formation sketch, and the woman agreed to pay 300,000 for it. Narrowed his gaze and accused the unseen negotiator of still lacking sincerity. A frustrated young woman with dark hair muttered a curse under her breath. Demanded the scroll back from the determined woman, insisting he needed the formation even if it cost him dearly. A confident woman in green pitched a rare formation to Miss Long, insisting only their group could offer such a deal in the entire empire. The determined woman in green said there was still a chance of success. A confident woman in green gently caressed the face of a blushing woman in red, assuring Miss Luo she would always be welcomed as a VIP. The surprised woman glanced up at the bright light, quietly wondering if this was really support from the VIPs. A woman asked if they should move forward. A young man with dark hair erupted in anger and shouted for someone to be silent. Reached out and told Miss Long she needed to return the sketch, insisting that as the Luo family's butler, it was his responsibility. A calm and serious woman addressed, telling him there was an unfortunate matter he needed to know. A woman with long dark hair dismissed the request, saying she didn't understand what was being asked of her. A serious woman assured that Pavilion's reputation was solid and said the first level formation usually sold for 300,000. With a wary glance, told the others he believed Miss Long had just issued a threat. Then the serious woman pressed for answers, demanding to know if the pavilion master had actually been present. A woman with long dark hair looked startled, wondering aloud if she had missed out. A confident woman smirked and warned not to let his sharp judgment make him arrogant. Smirked and calmly asked to meet the master of pavilion. Locked eyes with the nervous woman, tension thick between them as dark symbols hovered ominously overhead. Told his companion to wait as he stepped toward the ornate wooden door. A worried woman asked if they had somehow offended the pavilion. A single foot stepped forward across the wooden floor, the sound echoing through the tense silence. A dignified older man with long white hair stood at the front, as a surprised young woman asked if he was Shen Long. A man told that the master of pavilion held authority in this city. Shen Long, an imposing older man with white hair, stood above, as the young man silently acknowledged the vast difference in their power. Master greeted the young miss of Luo's family, while and the others bowed respectfully in the traditional hall. An older man with white hair asked if was the new butler of the Luo family. Confirmed decisively that he was the new butler. An authoritative elder explained too that anyone could serve as the butler, so long as they were not considered old. The older man with a white beard pressed further, asking if the listener truly doubted the identity of Miss Long. The older man with a long white beard told that his answer was correct. An experienced and confident elder offered to examine this assessment, saying she had a unique perspective even if others remained doubtful. A calm hand revealed a mysterious parchment, and the speaker invited the others to take a closer look at what was written. A wise old man with long white hair stood behind his ornate desk, his gaze steady and unreadable. An older man glared forward, his expression set with unwavering determination. A young woman with long black hair told Uncle that he should trust her. This first-level formation array was truly worth 300,000. The stern older man glared at, who met his gaze with unwavering determination. The older man with white hair offered 1.8 million to, saying he hadn't expected the Luo family to possess something so valuable. A shocked young man shouted in disbelief, as the concerned woman behind him stared wide-eyed at his reaction. A young woman in traditional clothing turned to the elderly man and hesitantly addressed him as Uncle. Focused and critical, dismissed the attack as too low. The shocked man glared at, demanding to know how something impossible could have happened. A solemn elderly man with a long white mustache and scar stated he could only offer 1.8 million for the deal. A nervous woman offered to sell the item to Master, who calmly considered her price of 1.8 million. Determined and confrontational, slammed his hand on the table and insisted the deal was off unless a higher price could be paid. A determined and aggressive fighter lunged forward with a powerful attack as the old man warned him to stop. Concerned and assertive, warned Master that his actions would damage the reputation of Pavilion. A stern older man fixed his intense gaze on the kid and asked if he felt any fear. Taunted Master, saying he doubted the man would risk his family's reputation just to punish someone like him. An older man with a long white mustache burst into laughter, calling someone a good boy with triumphant approval. Master, an older man with white hair and beard, challenged the group and asked what truly wanted in exchange for the array formation. Calmly declared to the group that the price for the formation would be 10 million. Then pointed his golden baton forward and told the group they could pay 1 million now, but still owed the rest. A determined hand yanked the wooden object away just as another reached out, tension crackling in the narrow space between them. An authoritative elder man with long white hair assured the two younger figures that Pavilion would support them until their debt was settled. The authoritative man with long white hair instructed to pay 1 million, and the obedient attendant responded that she would handle it. Stood resolutely by the wooden door, his focus unwavering as he prepared for what was coming next. A stern older man with a white mustache and scar glanced sideways as a woman addressed him, quietly calling out, "Uncle." An older man with a white mustache questioned the younger man about why such a rare formation array should be sold for only 10 million. A serious older man laid out several sketches on the table for a shocked woman, telling this was the only array in the empire. An informed and eager woman unrolled a scroll, showing a sketch of an ancient array formation and announcing her discovery. A serious older man with a long white beard explained that the ancient formation's value far surpassed 10 million, leaving the young woman amazed by the discovery. Then a stern older man with white hair advised the concerned woman that offending the Sun family was necessary to protect Luo's family, urging her to gather strong allies. A woman with long dark hair asked the white-haired man why they were expected to protect the others. A serious elderly man with long white hair asked if the others understood their adversary's true intention. A young man with dark hair led his group forward beneath the bright sky, each step showing his resolve to repay a debt. Flashed a confident smirk, ready for whatever challenge lay ahead. Soft sunlight spilled across a traditional building, casting warm, tranquil hues as the day quietly faded. Sat cross-legged, dark energy swirling around him as he quietly drew power inward. Ran forward, his steps urgent as he pressed on through the corridor. Suddenly, an urgent and alarmed man burst through the doors to warn that they were now surrounded by the Sun's family. A confident and expectant man smiled faintly, saying the person he had been waiting for had finally arrived. A curious man with short hair looked at the silent figure and asked why he remained so calm. Crouched with determination and ordered the servant to summon the young miss and young master. A reflective man touched his chin and told that his talent also gave him courage. A protective man shouted for Luo's family to leave the area immediately. A confident woman teased, telling him TMD been arrogant the previous day as he stood calmly with his fan before the sunset. An attentive woman with long dark hair turned sharply, startled by a sudden noise as the door behind her stood slightly ajar in the fading light. Curious and assertive, asked why Miss Sun had brought so many people to their residence. A determined young woman looked straight ahead and asked if wanted to know the reason. A vengeful man in traditional robes confronted the group, declaring he would not spare Luo's family after what happened at the residence. A worried girl glanced at, telling herself that as long as he stayed fearless, everything would turn out fine. Lady Sun, a proud and confident matriarch, warned her opponent that the Sun family had only recently arrived and should choose their words carefully. A woman with flowing dark hair soared forward, fiercely declaring to everyone that Luo would never become a phoenix. A fierce young man with dark hair suddenly charged forward, while a calm woman with glowing eyes watched him from behind. A determined woman snatched the wooden fan from her opponent, her grip unyielding as tension crackled between them. A confident man with dark hair raised his golden fan as a shocked woman called out to her cousin. Apologized to Miss Luo, explaining they only sought her family's butler and meant no trouble for her. A confident man with glowing red eyes smiled slyly, warning the others he would spare everyone if they handed over the butler. A determined woman confronted, insisting that their agreement was to destroy their enemies together. A confident man confronted an angry woman with fans, suggesting this could be the moment for Miss Luo to build a better future. A serious-looking woman warned that challenging him meant challenging the Luo family, insisting he was part of their clan and under her protection. A confident man holding a fan warned the surprised woman that she should not fight him if she truly knew who he was. A confident young man with a golden fan introduced himself as disciple of Valley beneath the vivid orange sky. A young man with dark hair stared at the group and demanded to know if they truly belonged to one of the Empire's 7 families. A confident woman laughed during sunset, taunting him and asking if he felt afraid now. A confident young woman with long hair stood in the warmth of the hall, as the narrator explained her family's powerful alliance with the Empire's elite. A caring woman gently grabbed his arm and softly called his name, her voice filled with concern as she tried to get his attention. Stood tall in the hallway and told his unseen opponent that he was the Luo family's butler, challenging them to a one-on-one fight. A proud man in traditional robes faced and warned that losing to him would disgrace Valley. A determined and fierce fighter launched a blazing punch midair, striking his opponent with overwhelming force. A massive hand surged forward and sent the clever butler crashing backward, his shock clear as the grip closed in. Still breathing hard and wounded, stared into the fiery horizon with resolve burning behind his eyes. A confident man with long dark hair smirked, remarking that had managed to dodge and noting the chi pressure was now 6 times heavier. A concerned woman rushed to, asking if he was all right, while he smirked and let flames swirl confidently around his hand. A serious man with a piercing gaze wondered aloud why showed no fear and seemed to enjoy the danger. Unleashed a rapid barrage of fiery punches, while his stunned opponent exclaimed in disbelief at the overwhelming speed. Jerked his hand up defensively, warning that the situation was turning dire. Determined and powerful, hurled a radiant energy blast from his hands straight at his opponent. Then, a young man with dark hair stomped the cracked stone ground and faced his opponent as smoke curled between them. A concerned woman warned to be cautious, telling him that uncle had also been hurt by the same person. Clenched his fist and admitted to himself that he was in trouble. Stared at his bleeding palm, surprised that anyone here could actually hurt him. A confident young man confronted the anxious stranger as the sun dipped low over the quiet village street. A confident smirk spread across lips as the warm sky lit his face. A suspicious man with sharp eyes wondered aloud if might actually be a demon cultivator. Dark smoke swirled around a demonic skull, symbolizing the relentless pursuit of power through strict discipline. 4 sinister creatures with glowing eyes bared their sharp teeth, looming on jagged rocks as a low voice warned that fighting them was sheer madness. Summoned purple energy into his hand, determined to finish quickly, while the surprised woman asked what he was doing. Suddenly was struck in the face by a furious attacker's purple energy fist and could only shout in shock. A confident man in royal attire leaned in close, telling his chi flow was sealed and no skill could save him now. A dark-haired woman commanded to kill the man, while another man shouted his name and a woman looked on in shock. Gathered dark energy in his hand and told his enemy to go to hell, a smug grin spreading across his face. Unleashed a blazing palm strike, shouting the name of his attack as his shocked opponent barely managed to react. A figure was slammed into the ground with explosive force as flames roared in the background. A bruised man in traditional robes spat blood and angrily demanded to know how his opponent could use martial arts after having his chi flow sealed. An excited young boy declared with admiration that brother could not be defeated by attacks like those. Suddenly, an injured young man with dark hair staggered forward as someone in red called out's name in alarm. Two worried figures rushed to support as a concerned woman demanded to know what had just happened. A sinister man explained to the shocked woman that using martial arts with sealed chi meant certain death, while she pressed him to clarify his words. Confident and injured advanced on the group, while the woman in red shouted that he could kill them even with one hand. Smirked and told Miss Luo he had no intention of killing her. Blocked the furious attack, while his attacker shouted that nothing would stop him and demanded that die. An unknown attacker, hostile and aggressive, unleashed a blinding magical assault on, while shouting furiously that he should drop dead. Blood trailing from his mouth, recoiled as a glowing purple fist from an unseen attacker drove straight toward him. With fierce determination, thrust his glowing hand forward and unleashed the dragon claw technique. Calm yet assertive, seized the wounded man's arm as the bleeding warrior, Long stammered out a shocked accusation. A curious woman with ornate hair accessories stared at the fiery sky and wondered aloud if this place was Really's pavilion. A confident man with long dark hair smirked at sunset and taunted, asking if killing people everywhere still hadn't satisfied him. Slapped away the other man's hand and told him firmly not to interfere. Loyal protector of the Luo family, stood his ground and declared no one would harm them unless they got through him first. A figure called out to Long as the sunset lit up the skyline with distant rooftops. A confident and mocking man taunted, saying their powers matched and questioning whether he could really protect everyone here. Calm and thoughtful, reminded of something important as the sun dipped low behind the traditional rooftops. A confident and aggressive man locked eyes with, taunting that his injuries meant he had no chance of winning. An assertive figure raised their hand toward, declaring they already knew what he was about to say. A man with long hair and traditional clothes warned that unleashing their true power would trigger a massive battle, questioning if it could handle the consequences. Considered the tension between valley and pavilion, muttering that open warfare was inevitable, but not just yet. Blood dripping from his mouth said he understood. Suddenly, an injured and shocked man doubled over and coughed blood onto the ground. Three figures recoiled in shock as the stunned man shouted in alarm. The wounded man, injured and desperate, warned that hesitation against a devil cultivator would mean death. At sunset, stood defiant while his bloodied opponent could only stammer in disbelief at what had just happened. Someone watching wondered aloud how, clearly dying, could suddenly move even faster and display newfound power. A hand reached for as he realized he and Long had both fallen into the trap. Injured and desperate, reached out and begged for someone to help him. Fierce and relentless, lunged forward and shouted that his opponent would die as he swung his sword in a violent attack. Determined but wounded, stands with blood on his hand as his injured opponent screams in pain across from him. A concerned young woman cried out for her cousin, her voice echoing through the golden light of the setting sun. A calm, contemplative young woman with tied-back hair gazed into the sunset, her thoughts hidden behind a pensive expression. Clenched his teeth and extended his bleeding hand, refusing to let pain stop him. A partially seen, assertive figure pressed a young man with dark hair to admit he had been ordered by to protect them. Thanked his supportive accomplice and asked them to deliver a message to Master. The cloaked figure said they didn't need to send anyone else to protect them, turning away as watched in shock. Stars glimmered overhead as a traditional building stood quietly against the night, its sign and emblem catching the faintest trace of moonlight. A determined man slammed his hand down on the wooden table, the sharp sound breaking through the tense silence. Both a young man with dark hair and a respectful woman bowed deeply across the table, showing deference to the person seated before them. An angry older man with a long white mustache leaned forward over the table, complaining bitterly that a kid had ruined his family's plan today. A worried woman asked Uncle how violent actions were connected to Pavilion, unable to see the link. The old man with striking white mustaches glared, demanding to know if his listener finally understood. The authoritative older man questioned the younger woman, asking who would be held responsible since Long witnessed the kid kill in front of everyone. A cheerful woman turned to the silent white-haired man and mentioned Luo's family, hoping to draw him into the conversation. Reflective and serious, questioned if she could believe someone from a small family would dare kill a disciple of the seventh family. A serious young man with dark hair met the woman's gaze as she quietly closed her eyes and turned away. Warned that even if she doubted him, others would blame them for what happened. A confident woman with long dark hair snapped that it was unfair for them to answer for the Luo family's actions. A white-haired man turned to the group, questioning what they meant about being unlucky. The white-haired elder explained that had orchestrated everything, saying Long noticed the boy was so exhausted that couldn't move to attack. The older man with white hair explained that Long used his attack as cover to recover, then counterattacked with even greater strength, revealing careful planning. A surprised woman indoors realized the enemy already anticipated Long. His brother would help and had set up a plan for her. A stern old man with a long white mustache snapped that the girl was foolish. The older man with long white hair explained that the real target was Pavilion and Valley, not, and questioned how Luo's family could safely escape. The elderly man with long white mustaches told the others he had considered the situation up to this point. The solemn elder reached for the array scroll and stated they must protect the Luo family to uphold Pavilion's honor. A mysterious man with long white hair stood with his back turned and quietly remarked that things had seemed more straightforward in the beginning. A background character whispered that the white-haired figure was the most dangerous person he had ever encountered. A young man with dark hair stands tense and silent between two cloaked figures in the dimly lit room. Outside, the night air hangs still as stars shimmer over the quiet silhouette of a traditional building. Shouted at the two visitors to leave, his voice sharp and furious as tension spiked in the doorway. He sits cross-legged, red energy swirling around him, as focuses every breath on cultivating his internal power. He grimaced, trembling, and told himself through clenched teeth that he was still too weak. Clenched his fist, admitting to himself that even with all his strength, he still couldn't defeat his opponent and nearly lost his life. Two men stand side by side against a blood-red haze, admits he is too weak and hopelessly caught in the seven families' conflict. Seven shadowy figures loomed against a fiery backdrop, as realized the seven families threatened both him and the Luo clan. Focused on his goal, telling himself with fierce determination that he must become stronger. Channels red and blue energy between his hands, vowing to himself that he must become stronger as quickly as possible. Stars drifted in the calm night sky above the silent building, casting a gentle glow across its traditional sign. Inside, sat quietly with his eyes closed, the soft starlight from the window casting peaceful patterns around him. Suddenly coughed up blood, his body racked by pain from the heavy blow. Suddenly is slammed against the wooden wall, shock flashes across his face as he finds himself trapped. A surge of red, claw-like energy bursts through his back, dark blood spills as he hangs, wounded but unbroken. A glowing red demonic figure floats above, declaring it will spare for now so he can witness the family's destruction. If you'd like to see your favorite titles retold, leave a comment and I'll be sure to pick some of them up from time to time. Also, let me know which video format you like more, long videos or short ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you again soon.